Hey, we're cooking with gas here on the Jewcast.
Okay, careful using a phrase like that.
This trial is a travesty. It's a travesty of a mockery, of a sham, of a mockery, of a travesty, of two mockeries, of a sham.
Tradition!
Oh, shut up, Carl! Shut your goddamn Jew mouth! You people are why there's war in the Middle East!
Gekakken af een jam.
Nebbig.
Ver poepoepoe.
Vermischt.
Verkakt.
Vertut.
Verstonken.
Fartig.
Exactly.
You what Grammy Hall would call a real Jew.
Oi, here we go again.
Let there be American Jew.
Yeah, and there was.
Hey, Jonathan Randall here.
It's Jordan Ferber, another Jew-packed episode coming at you.
Jew.
What is this, episode 38, right?
Wow, yeah,
We're starting at the beginning again.
Right? Because in the beginning is this week's Torah portion.
Yeah, we're starting with the
Genesis.
Yeah, baby.
Not the band.
You know, Jesus ain't no son of mine, said God.
Well, before I guess we get into the Torah portion, let's talk about some other things that are going on.
Right, there's a Jew in space.
Jews in space. In space, nobody can hear you kvetch.
Right. Well, so that's always good news when there's a nice Jew in space. Her goal is to be the first Jewish woman to walk on the moon.
Oh, that's very nice.
You know, she brought. You're allowed to bring 3 items into space, and she brought some tchotchkes.
Some little tchotchkes, huh?
An Israeli flag, a pair of socks with menorahs on it. Basically, she brought some stuff for a space time capsule. It sounds like.
Yeah, it sounds like she brought some horrible stuff.
You know, it's not. This is not the. If you were on a deserted island, what 3 items would you bring with you? Because those things are not going to help you.
Well, if you went to space, what 3 items would you bring with you?
I don't know. That's a good question. What would I bring to space? I mean, they're going to provide snacks of their own, right?
I guess, but they might not be very good.
You get like that styrofoam ice cream.
Okay.
I would definitely send that back.
Cream. You definitely send back the space ice cream.
Right.
All right. Still not answering the question, Jordan, but okay.
I don't know. I'd have to figure out what they already provide, because if it's just
you're probably going to bring weed and whiskey. I'm going with those as being 2 of them.
I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue with you there. That's it sounds like something that would end up in my rucksack.
Well, we hope this Jewish lady makes it to space.
Yes.
Hope she gets to be the first Jewish woman to walk on the moon.
Because there's not yet anti-Semitism on the moon.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We're getting there soon because it's everywhere.
Right? There's a new study that studies anti-Semitism in America. 9 out of 10 Americans believe that anti-Semitism is more prevalent now than it was 50 years ago. These articles that come out, they don't give you any solutions.
Only tell you what the problems
are. Right?
Are.
I mean, they tell you what the problems are. They tell you that
which is very Jewish, by the way.
Right.
They tell you what the problems are, but not the solutions.
We're just complaining. I mean, it's also because around the world people are defending anti-Semitic tropes. The thing that just happened in Belgium again.
Yeah, Belgium. I liked you so much. Why you gotta hate us so badly?
If you've been paying attention, Belgium had a big parade over the summer that had these giant Jewish statues on it holding money and...
They had like a rat on their corner, and they had like big noses that
right.
were red, and I don't know. And apparently the people that put the float together said it wasn't anti-Semitic. It was just commentary on the fact that the rents are just too darn high.
Yeah. So in order to get in front of it this time, they've come out with ribbons that these people are wearing that have the same caricatures essentially on it, like these Jewish caricatures, and they're saying that it's not anti-Semitic, it's irreverent.
Oh, wow. It's irreverent anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
What it is. Hey, when I said the N-word, I didn't mean to be racist. I was just being irreverent.
I was just being kooky.
Still got punched in the face.
You know, you're allowed to be kooky, but not kikey.
Well, I really wish these Belgians would stop hating on us Jews and stop making excuses for themselves.
Seriously. The only good thing coming out of Belgium these days is still the chocolate.
Waffles ain't bad.
And the waffles, okay.
And they got some good beer, too.
All right, you know what? There's a few things still coming out of...
Belgium's still pretty good. I mean, I've been wanting to go to Bruges, but maybe I'm not going to go anymore if they're just going to be such Jew haters all the time. And it's one thing to be a Jew hater. At least own up to being a Jew hater. Don't be, hating on Jews and be like, oh, no, it's not what I mean. Fuck off. We know what you mean.
It's ridiculous.
You know, there's anti-Semitism all over the world. In America, it's bad. In Europe, it's bad. In Europe, they're telling people not to wear yarmulkes or anything that could show you to being Jewish.
Yeah.
In Germany, they had in a paper, they had little cutout yarmulkes they were telling everyone to wear for solidarity for Jews. Because if you can't know who's the real Jew, you can't do the Jewish hate crimes. It's just a sad state of affairs. I don't know why everybody wants to hate on us. There's so much better people to hate.
And I don't know if
Republicans. And
I don't know if you've heard about this, but a little story. It's not been gotten a lot of news lately, but problems in Israel.
What?
Yeah, little small one. I guess.
Well, Netanyahu wasn't able to form the government,
which I think he knew.
They gave him the chance. The president of Israel let him have the chance first, even though he got one less seat than Benny Gantz because, he's been the prime minister there for over 10 years. He couldn't form the government. Now they're letting our boy Benny Gantz have the chance to form the government. Hopefully he'll be able to form the government in Israel. And if not, then they're going to have their third election, which nobody in Israel wants to have.
Well, so it's interesting. Like there are people from Netanyahu's side that won't work with Gantz. Mm-hmm. And there are, and Gantz said he won't work with anybody on from the far right, from Netanyahu's camp. He doesn't want to work with those people. Doesn't want to have Netanyahu's people.
But doesn't want to work with Netanyahu, is what I understood.
Right, but there are people from the far right that are in Netanyahu's camp essentially that he also is not going to take those seats.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But he said he might. He's trying to appeal to the Arab community.
That would be good if they could come together, and maybe that could quell some of the problems and hatred that they have amongst each other.
They say that if that happens, that would be the first time in history that there are Arabs in the government in Israel.
It's about time, I think.
Right?
I think it is the time. Now's the time. The time is now. So, I'm wishing Benny good luck. Let's get Netanyahu out of there. I know his court case for his whole corruption, bribery, whatever has started. They haven't said what's going to happen to him yet. I'm more interested in finding out what happens with Netanyahu than what happens with this government. But I hope he goes down.
They say that if this fails, that they're going to have a third election. I guess.
Nobody wants that.
But it would be between the same two people again. No, I mean, who would be running?
I have no idea. Well, let's wish Benny good luck. He's with the Blue and White Party. It's called. It's his group, and let's hope for some change over in Eretz Israel, in the Holy Land.
Let's get Benny in there. All right, well...
before I get to this week's Parsha, I just want to give a shout-out to our listeners in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Appreciate the support.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Chattanooga.
In Chattanooga.
Who knew?
They're listening. I know. I didn't know either.
Who knew?
Getting called out by things I say by Chattanooga, Tennessee.
I wasn't aware there was a huge Jewish population in Tennessee.
They need to learn more about Jews down there.
I was just in Nashville.
Oh, hey.
I didn't go to Temple.
Did you get barbecue?
I did get barbecue, and I got drunk.
Well, you do that no matter where you go, Jordan. Sorry to make fun of your alcoholism.
No, but I'm saying that it was like approaching Simchat Torah. I figured.
Yes.
I was.
Wow, that makes you sound even more like a fucking alcoholic when you're like, "Hey, it was for a Jewish holiday, man." Officer, I know I'm driving way over the limit, but it's cool. I'm celebrating Simchat Torah.
I did get some barbecue, though. I'll tell you.
Good. I love barbecue.
Not kosher, which means it was delicious.
Some good pork, some good chazer, some good bacon.
Let me pull that pork for you.
All right, hey, we're starting from the beginning, Jordan.
Right. So
we are starting from the beginning.
Last week we talked about the end of the Torah, which is when Moses dies.
Right.
There's no real happy ending at the end of that.
No, Moses died. Well, the Jews get to go to Israel.
They get to go to Israel, but as we just talked about, there's been problems there. It's not exactly milk and honey over there.
Right. Not all milk and honey.
Not all milk and honey.
No,
so Moses dies. So now we're starting from the beginning.
Now the beginning. This is how the whole world started. This is what a lot of Jews want to believe is how the world was created. A lot of Christians or Catholics, Gentiles want to believe this is the world created. Science might say this was the Big Bang. This is the way that the Bible presents it in a way for people to understand and have a concept of why we're here, how it all started, because a lot of people have this problem with living with uncertainty. I don't have the problem. I don't really know how it started. I don't know the truth, and I'm okay with that. But a lot of people need to know, and this is what starts in the beginning. God said, "Let there be light." For the first 6 days, God created different things, ending on the 6th day when he created man. And then on the 7th day, he rested. He took a break. Why does God need rest when he's all powerful and all knowing and all everything? I don't know. What was he doing before these 6 days? Nothing, apparently. So I'm sorry that just 6 days of work for all of his eternity was so hard that he needed to get a little rest and a little break. Why does he need a rest? Anyways, he doesn't. He doesn't need rest. It makes no sense. Nevertheless,
there needs to be a prequel to this, I think. If they come out with a prequel to the Bible, you can find out why he was so tired.
We should write that. So he was so exhausted after 6 days of making things, which it didn't seem like it was very taxing. He was just like, let there be this, let there be that, let there be a division between the heaven and the earth, let there be fish and birds, let there be mammals and human, whatever. So anyways, and one of the things he created was man. He created Adam.
He created
the first
Adam.
man, and then he didn't want Adam to be alone.
Well, he didn't want Adam to be alone, and Adam didn't find kinship with any of the animals.
Ooh.
He's like, so I need to make someone closer to you.
So what's the deal? Was Adam like going around trying to fuck all the animals? He's like, none of them are doing it for me, God.
Well, he needed like a helper mate. That's what God was saying. He needs somebody like to be a helper.
Okay, so
none of the animals were helping
and
him.
When he created man, he like created him out of like dust or something, right from the earth, and then he like blew life in through his nose,
right up the nostrils,
kind of like Coke, I guess.
Yeah.
That'll make you charged up. And then he took a rib from Adam, from his side or something, and that's how we created Eve.
Right.
So women came from us, and that's why they should serve us always, and they're lesser than us. That's not what I think. That's
and they were not ashamed.
The Bible says
they were not ashamed of their nakedness. So obviously they were rather fit.
Yeah, right. They weren't ashamed. They didn't know better, right?
Right.
They didn't realize they were naked.
Right.
And God let them have this beautiful garden, the Garden of Eden, and he said you could do anything you want, but you just can't eat from the tree of knowledge.
Right.
And the tree of life?
The tree of life and knowledge.
They couldn't eat from those two trees.
Right.
And whatever, life was good in the Garden of Eden, and then there was a snake, a slippery snake. And the snake convinced Eve to eat from the tree of good and bad.
Well, because the snake is like, God doesn't want you to eat that because God knows that it's delicious and it'll give you all the knowledge. He doesn't want you to have that knowledge.
What was in it for the snake?
They never really tell you the snake's motivation.
We need the snake's prequel, too.
Yes.
What happened to the snake before? Anyways, so then Eve goes, not only does she eat it, but she gives it to Adam, like, hey, Adam, eat this. And Adam's just like, yeah, whatever, I trust you, wife. I trust you. You came from my rib. You're trustworthy. You're my woman. There's only 2 of us. I think I could trust you. But even when there was only 2 people on earth, a woman still could not be trusted. God, I sound so bitter right now. And
well, also, the man, very naive, just follows blindly.
Just very naive. Sure, he trusts the woman. Anyways, then God's like, what up? I told you not to eat it. Why'd you eat it? The guy's like, oh, she gave it to me.
Well,
He's
first,
like,
as soon as they eat it, they realize they're naked. They're like, ooh, I'm naked.
Yeah, and I don't even understand why that bothered them. They were husband and wife. They were the only 2 people around. Like, who cares if you're like?
Right?
It's not even they like. So what? Then they got the tree of knowledge gave them shame or something.
That goat over there is giving me some very dirty looks.
Like, I don't get this whole they realized they were naked. Like, sometimes I know I'm naked, but I don't care if I'm with my girlfriend that I'm walking around the apartment naked. Like, it doesn't bother me.
So, but then God tells them, all right, you're banished from the garden. You're not allowed to do this. Then they start making more people.
Right. Life isn't going to be so easy for you from now on. You're going to have to work for it a little bit, he says, because you didn't do what I told you. Already he's upset. You can't listen to me?
Yeah.
I just created you a couple days ago. I gave you 2 rules, and you can't listen to him. Get out of the garden. They get out of the garden. They have 2 kids, Cain and Abel.
Right. Which we know that story also.
These brothers just can't get along, I guess. So Cain kills Abel.
That is correct.
Abel gives a sacrifice to God. He gives the best of the best. Cain gives a sacrifice, not the best of the best. God likes Abel's sacrifice more. That pisses Cain off. Cain ends up killing Abel, and then that's where we get this line about he asked him where's his brother, and he goes, I'm not my brother's keeper. Very, very famous line that's used all the time.
Right.
In television, major motion pictures, people use it hey, where's your person? I don't know, I'm not their keeper.
But but it's really a deflection. What happened to your brother? Oh, I know where he is. Yeah, you fucking killed him. You should know where did you bury him?
Too much. Cain is now on God's bad side.
Yeah, God's like, you're telling me you don't know where he is, but his blood is, I can smell him. His blood is yelling at me. His blood is yelling at me.
So then he punishes Cain.
He does. What does he say? He says, when you till the soil, it will no longer give you any yield.
So it wasn't bad enough they got kicked out of the garden. Now he's a wanderer. So then he starts having kids.
Right, they start having kids, and these fucking people live a long goddamn time.
Right, they're living 800 years.
Yeah,
or
900 years,
or
something
whatever.
like that.
Long time, and they keep having them. And then but then don't Adam and Eve have another kid too?
Yes, they have Seth.
They have Seth, and then 8 generations or something after Seth is Noah. Noah is born, and Noah is the only righteous. And at this point, everybody's wicked. Everybody's like followed in Cain's footsteps. Everybody's a piece of crap except for Noah.
Well, it's so funny.
He's good.
Like some of these guys are having kids at 100 and something years old, and then they live another 800 years after giving birth. And so God comes down and he's like, I don't know what. I created a monster. This is terrible. These fucking humans don't do anything right.
I know. I give them one rule. They get talked into it by a snake.
And then Noah says, wait a minute. We're not all that bad.
Wait, and this is how this week's ends.
Right. It's a hell of a cliffhanger.
I mean, a lot happens in this first week's parsha. You know, we were going through some of the end ones, and it was just like, is anything going to happen here? Like, nothing was happening. And this one, the whole world is created. All the animals are created. Day and night's created. The sun, the moon, the stars, they're all created. Adam and Eve are created. Adam and Eve have the Garden of Eden. Then the snake helps them get kicked out of the Garden of Eden. Then they have 2 kids. They betray each other. Then there's all these more kids. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Whoa.
It's like almost any good TV series. The first season is always awesome, and then they got to come up with better storylines, and it takes them a little while. Well, we'll have them wander through the desert for 40 years. That should take up a whole season.
Well, Adam and Eve's pretty good, and then Cain and Abel, it gets kind of good, and then it's like, oh, nothing good happens again till Noah.
You know, they don't talk about the problems with with incest in terms of, you know.
I know, were there a lot of like mentally
if everybody's from Adam and Eve in this bunch, it's definitely they're fucking each other,
right? And then like, did Abel have kids before Cain killed him?
How long before you're not allowed to have sex with your family?
Well, that didn't happen again until Moses, yeah. So that was a while.
It takes a while, right?
And they had to get the Bible for that. That's like many, many years down the road. No, there aren't even any Jews yet. These are just like the people. They're not even Jews yet.
Right.
Like Noah's not even a Jew.
Right.
The first Jew doesn't come till Abraham. So we're still pre-Jew right now. But there's still the God. He created everybody. Do what he says.
It is an exciting start to the Bible, I have to say.
I mean, I don't know if it's exciting. It's interesting, you know. I mean, yeah, thank God we don't have a 6-day work week. At least they let us have a 5-day work week. I think it should be 4, honestly. But nevertheless, you know, don't betray your brothers. Don't let women deceive you. You know, women will just get talked into anything by like some snake, and then they'll try to bring you down or hurt you about it. Hey guys, check me out on Instagram at Jonathan Randall.
Then you can find me on Instagram at BeatNickNudnik. That's where you can find me.
Check us out at American Jew Podcast on Instagram, on Facebook, at American Jew Pod, on Twitter. Email us, goddammit, at AmericanJewPodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, let there be emails.
This is Jonathan Randall.
My name is Jordon Ferber, guys, and we're going to be jumping in both feet next week.
Bye.